So I'm waiting on some parts on the other cars. I've decided to treat myself and crack on with the 106 Rallye. And what I'm going to do is get the head off so we can get the head gasket done. But I'm completely inexperienced with this. I've never done it before. So we're going to just take bits off, give it a go. What's the worst going to happen? Everyone tells me they're super easy. I've heard these are hard to get off, so they're best off taken with the head in one go. But these manifold bolts I suspect are going to break, I would have thought, without a shadow of a doubt. But I'm just going to crack on, start taking bits off, bag it all up and photograph it as I go.
It sound right, boys. Sound right, boys.
So I'm afraid my battery ran out when I was doing this, so I've got to give you a quick update on where I got to with it. So got the manifold off, couldn't get the studs to withdraw, so undid the 3 bolts at the bottom from underneath and managed to pull the manifold off there. I've disconnected all the plugs and so forth to the throttle body here, because this is going to come off with this. I heard trying to get this off in situ was a nightmare, so that's going to come off with it. Got the water pump off the side, and all the cables disconnected on that. Moved this ECU so I can see the engine mount bolt. So what I'm going to do now is get the engine in time. Apparently it's timing marks, so I'm going to be looking out for the timing marks. I think there is a hole down in the gearbox as well to put a pin in somewhere. I might check that out to lock it. The guys told me it's not a biggie being a simple little engine if I don't get it timed up before I take the head off. They said it's just good practice, so I want to do that, get the cam belt off, and then take the rocker cover off. Should be able to take the head bolts out and take all of this in one go out. Famous last words. So supported the engine underneath and undone all the bolts for the engine mount now. So a little bit of wiggling and that should come out. And then I can check the timing on the engine, because I'll be able to get all the cam covers off. Right, engine mount off, so should be able to get the rest of the cam cover off now. So we've got the camshaft locked in with a bolt there. I'm going to mark the bottom end of the pulley with some Tip-X, make sure I'm in the right place on that side of things. I will have a professional check it over before it goes back together later on, but for the moment that'll be allow me to get the head off and have it pretty much. So, heads off now with Lee at Barham Autos. So not much more I can do with it. He's gonna get it all skimmed and sorted out for me. Then when we put it back together, hopefully it'll be time to go and have some fun with it. Might as well have a little clean up while I'm here though. So Lee spotted a bit of an issue underneath all the crud when he's cleaned the head off. He's found there's some corrosion here. He's ground it out. We're going to have to someone come along and weld that in and level it off. So good spot by Lee there. Otherwise, if we put that back together again, it would have still been screwed because it's going slightly into this area here. But Lee's going to give me a little bit of video of what he's doing on the work on this because I really don't have a clue what I'm talking about anyway. But look, he's nicely cleaned up all the head down and he'll be skimming the top off it. Exciting. So Lee from Barham Engineering's dropped the head back for the Rallye with a full set of gaskets and fresh head bolts. But before I put all that back together again, I want to clean this up and I want to make up a rig to clean the injectors out as well, so that I know they're performing as they should, because obviously the car's been sitting for a long while and not a lot of point putting gummed up injectors back onto that. And obviously it's on the back of this here as well, so that's a pain to get in and out anyway, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to set up a rig for that and get these injectors cleaned up. Then I'm going to clean up the engine bay, I think, a bit before I put it all back in again. Head's back on, now we're going to get the head bolts in. Okay, so it's the following morning and you saw us talking down the head on the little Peugeot, but we stopped, and that's because when I first started tightening, I think it's this bolt here down, Scott and I heard an almighty crack and popping sound. A really horrible sound. So I've gone online and checked out what that kind of noise might be, and there's an awful lot of threads about if you've got an aluminium block and you tighten a head bolt down, when you had coolant in the hole, you crack the aluminium block. And the noise they're describing sounds a hell of a lot like the noise I heard. And obviously this had a head gasket and quite possibly had coolant in the holes. I did blow them out with an airline, but did I forget to blow that one out? I don't know. As I tell you guys all along, I'm not a mechanic. This is the first time I've put a head back on a car, because with the Dacia I paid my mate to do it, didn't I? So I may well have completely wrecked this engine and need to get the whole thing out and have it checked for a crack, or potentially try and find a block for a Series 1 106 Rallye, which I would have thought is hen's teeth. So the idea of quickly putting it back together and enjoying it is probably out of the window. And as you can tell at this point, I am properly bummed about it. So I've got my mate Lee from Barham Engines coming over in a minute. He's going to check it out. We'll probably have the head back off again, and he's going to give me advice on it. But I think this might be Project 106 shelved for a considerable period of time, which is exactly what I didn't want.